What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys all had a fantastic weekend. Albert's in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Anna, Bill, Cheryl, Chris, Jay, JT, Martina. Good morning to Mike, Rick, Rob. We got Shane in the house. Good morning to you. All my people out on YouTube land. Hey, you guys are piling in on YouTube today. We got Jeffrey. Good morning to you. Clarice, Leonard, Brian, Open Trader. Good morning to you. Julie, all my lurkers in the background. That's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button. But new day, new week, new all-time highs on the SPY. So we're just continuing to gap up. We were down a little bit on futures last night at open. We figured out how to creep all the way back. Like I said, all-time highs would be a little bit of a retest gap after 4 green days in a row. So the question is, do we open and run? I'd probably give it a couple minutes, but I think we're still bullish. If we get a pullback, I'm looking for some kind of support at 579.71, and then I guess my targets to the higher side would be infinity. I got nothing. I got no no levels, except for psychological hold numbers. That's it. But otherwise, we still look like we're bullish. We didn't really get any bad news really over the weekend, unless you're Boeing. Jeff says to infinity and beyond. Yeah, little. We got some Buzz Lightyear trading, I guess, but yeah. See if we get a little profit taken out of the gate. Things are pretty high. We've had 4 strong days in a row. I guess we could count that as a strong day, but 3 strong days and one inside day in a row. And then again, we don't have any news from the Fed. It is Columbus Day, so going to be probably a little bit quiet on the news front of things. So we'll just see if we just get some momentum kind of moving us around a little bit, aka algos. Qs, nice little gap up. Also retest gap, and we're retesting right into, or we're jumping right into some kind of resistance zone. So somewhere around this 495.91 should be a little bit of resistance. I also have another 496.22. Anything past that, small move 497.90, but realistically, I'd be looking for this 502.17-ish zone. So only really one level holding us back. But again, this is still going to be, I would expect a little bit of retracement somewhere, I'm thinking. But let me know if you guys got tickers you want to take a look at anything. SoFi just had news, so I know I'm in some call contracts. I think a bunch of you guys might be in there with me. I'm not sure who's in with me, or at least built some positions for SoFi, but it's been a while. We've had a nice little, again, run up on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. But they're gapping up. We've got to close at $9.01. You're gapping up this morning to $9.81. So that just came out. They're doing a $2 billion deal. I forget with who. I forget the name of the company, but I guess it's supposed to allow them to match more qualified candidates with loan originators. So decent news, decent pump. Buy it open. I don't know. They got a 17, I think a 17.8% short float. So there could definitely be some shorts getting squeezed on this one. That being said, this is quite the run we've just had from $7.60, closing at $9 and a monster gap up. So we'll see if this one wants to fade. I don't know if I want to chase this one at open for a day trade. But that is a good gap, and those contracts should look decent. The other thing we got to look out for is not too far away. We got earnings coming out October 29th, so end of the month. Just be aware of that. But that short float could make some moves, and then again, all of the volume now on SoFi. We had to get some closing, and we'll see if we can do it today. But closing off of 944 or somewhere above 944, I think that's good. All the volume is below. So let me see if I got the weekly. I don't think I do. No, too new soon. Longer term on a weekly, that's a nice, beautiful looking double bottom. And that's even a retest on the weekly chart though, too. So again, I'm not sure if this one holds, but that's at least good news. Uber to possibly fade Friday's move. And then we'll check out Tessie as well. Yeah, everything crypto land is moving as well. Uber, I don't think there's a big fade. Mm-mm. So I think you probably see with the rest of the market maybe a little pullback, but watch 85.34. That should be where our support is. If we can get underneath that, we might have more of an opportunity. But then again, you're still going to deal with half the candle retracement from Friday, maybe the 618 of it. But right now, I got my VPOC kind of high, so I wouldn't expect a huge fade on this one. Maybe a small pullback, consolidation, and then actually, I'd probably look for continuation in the bullish direction. That's how I would look for it. Tesla. So Tesla is gapping up. Interesting. We got a nice move off that 200 EMA. So great bounce spot for Tessie. I saw this chart pre-market before hopping on. And the only thing I was kind of worried about is the 100. We were a little bit lower than this. So it's starting to move up higher, but you do have that 100 right in front of you. That being said, it is a gap and go. You're still inside day. I'd see if we could get a little pullback. Support on this one would be somewhere around 218.89. We might have to deal with what's going on with Tesla news wise and let people make up their minds a little bit longer for this one to break. You do have a great retest on this one. So if we come all the way back up, we retest. I asked you guys on Friday, I was like, you guys like this price for a buy or sell? And majority came in with, yeah, I wouldn't mind owning it. So not bad. And you are right at the 200. I would, if I was to trade Tesla today, I think I'd be patient at open. See if we get a little pullback, and then the closer I could get to this 218.89, 219 zone, I think I wouldn't mind trying to play this one for a fade of that Friday gap. So try to lean bullish on Tessie. We will see. We will see. We got Coin. Yep, I'm expecting a decent little pop on Coinbase. This one we were setting up for a potential if this candle from Friday breaks down, and it doesn't look like it is. Again, another retest gap. I think patience might win the day today, and I got none of those, so we'll see what happens. We are gapping right into the 50 EMA. It's a retest gap. Bitcoin does look decent this morning. Actually, last 2 days looks pretty decent. First support on this one, if we get a small pullback. I got a couple levels of VPOC there, so that could be support. That's also retesting into the high of yesterday. So see if we can catch it at like 179.44. Otherwise, Friday's VPOC, if we come on for a full retest, would be 176.78. We're gonna have to deal with that 200, even if we get through this 50 at the 200, not too far away. That's gonna be somewhere around 186.30. If we get above that, I would look for stretch targets today, probably about 190.48. So you have some room to the higher side. I think I would like to catch this one a little bit lower. Let's push this one higher on the list, though. And then MSTR, they're having a crazy day Friday, or had a crazy day. That craziness still continues. Is this all-time highs? Not quite. Not quite all-time highs. Let me remove some of these. On a monthly perspective, it's got all the momentum in the world. So that's decent. On a daily perspective, we got all that volume now below us, so that all should be support. This is quite the move from 113 with when did that come in? That was September. Yeah, like 100% in a month. Okay. Okay, seems like a fair value. But yeah. I think this one has a lot of room to go in terms of there's nothing really holding us back, but this would also be a little bit of a not a little bit. This would be a quite the big retrace gap. Do I want to go short and try to play this fade? I think if I was to play this one, the only way I could do it would be the fade. It has enough room where we can make money to the downside. But I would probably need some strong reversal looking candles on this one. You're fighting a lot of momentum, but I think it's a little tough. Or if it does come back, we pass on the fade. If I could catch it somewhere around 206, I think that'd be a slightly better opportunity. Still not great, but slightly better. All right, we got CEL, TE Connectivity. There's one on my list I like a lot. I'm surprised nobody's talking about it yet. I'm surprised nobody's mentioned that one yet. Um, Tel has a interesting kind of pennant pattern, something like this. You got your nice little wedge. I would say be careful on this one out of the gate. I don't know what the short float is on this, but you are opening pretty much right into that downtrend. You're also opening into one of those VPOCs. It's also a retest gap. So I like the odds actually. I don't know about the range, but I do like the odds of fading TEL more so than just getting my head chopped off on Morningstar. No, it's not. It's not Nvidia. It's not Nvidia. You're getting close though. You're getting close. Mondelez, retrace gap to the. So we got a bullish retrace or bearish retrace. I don't love the fact that we are below the 70. However, for you guys that are playing the 200, just buy whatever off that beautiful looking line. You're right at that 200 now. This is a retest. So yeah, I would be a little hesitant to play this one bearish out of the gate. I'd prefer to play this one bullish out of the gate, especially if we get above that 200. In terms of room, I don't know. Your first spot on this one, I think, would be $70.58 would cause a little trouble in a bullish direction. Probably could get through it, and then you're looking at $70.84. So not an incredible amount of room. That being said, you do have a pretty interesting location, maybe a 5 wave count. I don't know if we do. This would be my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at that 200. Look for a move. Obviously, we've been bullish longer term. So probably not a bad opportunity for swing day trading. I'm not sure if we have enough in terms of the ranges. Not AMD. No, you guys dancing around it. But let's take a look at Nvidia. Getting close. MU. Yeah, MU looked good. It's not the one I was thinking. There you go, Frank. Frank got it. SMCI looked interesting out of the gate. I don't know. Maybe it looks like garbage now. I haven't checked it in like 15 minutes. So we'll see. We'll pull it up. We got Nvidia is another gap. Also a little bit of a retrace. This one's a little bit different. You do have some selling at some point, so you're not trapping. You're not everybody is possible profitable. You might have some people being trapped out of the gate. I'd still expect a little pullback on this one, 135.69. And then I have just pretty much an imaginary line. So take that gray line for for what it's worth. But I got 137.42 to the higher side if we could break through that. And I think we probably could. Uh I think the next stop on Nvidia takes us back to 139.84, but see if there's a little pullback first. I do like Nvidia today, though. We definitely have some room on it. Let's check out AMD. There was also one more too, but we just got out of it for a swing trade. We got AMD. Decent gap, nothing too crazy, still inside day. So I think for right now it's just gonna chill. I don't expect a big day. What I expect and what actually happens, two different things. The good news, if you want to go bullish on this one, we got to close. So we had some decent volume 2 days ago on Thursday, 2 trading days ago. We closed decently high on this one. We're also getting a gap up. I do like this one still bullish. I think we get a pullback, look for like 168.30. Big problem on this one. Right in front of our face, I got 169.91's resistance, and then we got 171.12. Doesn't mean that we can't get through that. I just think that's going to be a little bit of a stumbling block for AMD. Longer term, I think eventually we probably get through it and we probably head back into the 181 zone. But the one I was looking at that kind of looked interesting was SMCI. So here we know that there was some kind of resistance right around here, $50.72. The daily chart on this day does not show that, but I think we essentially got there pre-market that day. Somebody could check it. But I believe we got up into that zone already. So that I would count as already retested. Still going to be a little bit of an issue, but that's still going to take us from open $1.50 to about $2 away, $2 and change away. But also with this gap, this is the first day, and we'll see where today closes because maybe we don't get that close, but huge volume on this candle. We're now opening above it. You got huge volume on this candle. We're opening at the very high end of it. So I think something like this could run the distance. This is $50.72, I think, is that first resistance. You also got your 50 up there too. Stretch target on this one. I'm looking at like that 54.97, $55 essentially. So I think this one has a little bit more room on it. We do have, admittedly, we got some resistance, but I think we already played with that one already. We got that 50 in the way. But if we're starting to cover and trap anybody that's still in this thing bearish, you might get that a little over exaggerated move. So for me, I got SMCI is going to be one of my most playable out of all the chips, I think, today. We'll see what happens. But even with that being said, do I want to take it right out of the gate? Probably not. I think I want this thing to come back, retest 47.88. So that's what I'm looking for. If we get some kind of high wave candle, something fun on that one. I kind of like it. It's a good double bottom. We're taking out a lot of that bearish volume. So we will see. We got MU. Looks decent. Still the same situation. So I get, yeah, again, just that little patience out of the gate, I think could go a long way today. You're opening into one little resistance somewhere around, let's call it 107.92. If we get above that, great. Good double bottom. We've seen this thing move a little bit. My next target on this one would take me up to, and you're going to have some, I guess, volume from over here, in the 108.12 range. But then I think target on this one could get us to like 110.77. Again, does that happen today? I'm not sure we could get up there today. There's a lot of resistance before. But that's at least where I would be looking to target. If we can get a pullback on this one, 106.65 is where I would like to probably keep my eyes on. We get a little bit of a pullback out of the gate on that one. Clarice says huge spread. What's that for? MSTR? I think that was the one we covered with probably the biggest spread. So maybe we're talking about that one. KVUE for a swing to the long side. That was quite the gap up we had back in August. We made a nice little run. Kenvue. The real question is, can I view this as a long-term swing trade? I feel like we're on a wave 3. So I think this is probably your 1, 2, that's your 3. So I think if you miss this one, don't get too FOMO-y. I think we probably get some kind of a retest eventually. That's a good gap for today, though. I could see a day trade. You got room up to like 21.85 for your first stop. And then the only other thing I want to throw on this one would be a fib. Right at that 618. So yeah. I don't really have a candle pattern that I like in terms of like this is where we reverse. And again, if we are on wave 3, you'll probably get some kind of a pullback eventually. So maybe the 21.74, which is the 50, that acts as a little resistance. You pull back, you got your double shot at that 618, a little bit lower. That's a good gap though for today. I don't dislike it. In fact, we're gonna add it to the list. If there was a let's see, is there any volume or anything? Nothing too crazy. Yeah, if we had some more volume spikes, we had something else. Right now, it's a little bit of a catch the falling knife, but a really, really good location on it. And that is, like I said, quite the breakout gap over that 200. So I think it's worth keeping my eye on. I do like it somewhere around this price range. And then if I could just figure out how to get decent risk reward on it, I'm with it. VERB. Mm, so bullish engulfing candle on Friday. And then you got a almost 100% gap, 90% gap, something like that. What was their news? They put out a letter. The company behind Market.live TV, a leading live stream social shopping platform, and Go Fund Yourself. Edgy, very edgy name, huh? TV show that innovative, new, disrupting crowdfunding industry, yada 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 yada. I want to see if this company actually makes any money, but that is one heck of a gap. I wouldn't chase it. You are into, I don't know what the short float is, but you are into a decent resistance here. This is probably more fadeable than anything. But beautiful looking bullish engulfing candle on Friday, and that seems like I probably would have missed it. So I think the only way to try to play it would be to the fade. Or at least if I was in this thing and I got a 100% gap up overnight, or 90% gap up overnight or over the weekend, I would also be looking to take some gains and some profits on this one. You've already made a nice amount of money. So I think to the short side would be decent for that one for today. And then a bigger pullback, maybe position yourself if you like the company. I'd have to go check that one out. I don't know what go fund yourself is, but I like saying it. That's for sure. We got Roblox, possibly for a swing, maybe a slight little bear trap on Roblox. I think this is when we had some negative reports coming out about a certain type of people, specifically adults playing on the platform. Plus, I think you also had the Hindenburg report come out. So it's got some negativity. I think you got to get through it. I do like their response way better than SMCI. When Hindenburg came out on Roblox, Roblox came out immediately. They're like, no, this is not true. None of this is real. We could prove it. This is a garbage report. When Hindenburg came out on SMCI was like, maybe you guys got a good point. We should probably check out books. We'll do some recalculations. You're like, what? But nice bounce off of that longer term support. Looks like we had a few more follow through days. You do have a big resistance above you. So if you do want to try to swing this one long, I'd want my entry, I think, to be either higher than 41.85 or lower than current price. So if you're a breakout player, maybe you're trying to get in there. Preferably, would like to see a little pullback back into like $40.25. I think that would get me a better risk reward on this one. But then again, you don't have the same confirmation as if you took that breakout. But you do have slight resistance, probably a little bit more chop for today. We will see. TKNO. You guys are now just making up tickers. Yeah, China's gapping down a little bit. So Bob is down, PDD, KWEB, they're all down slightly today. TKNO, Alpha Teknova. Mm, again, I'm just not familiar. I don't know what this company does. Health technology seems very specific. In a longer term aspect, I like that. That's a long time of consolidation. That's consolidation essentially from October 2022. Did not enjoy the rest of the move with the rest of the market. Just been getting clobbered. You have a pretty nice gap for a swing trade. I can see this one working. Maybe you want to see if you get a pullback on this one because we're opening into a little bit of resistance. Your confirmation really is $6.57. I don't think I'd wait to get into that. But maybe you got targets into like $10.21 and then a bigger target of like $13.64. So yeah, not a bad play. This is also a retest, and you do have some resistance. So I think if you wanted to try to come in, you're trying to set entries somewhere along the lines, I think, of $5.37, and then probably you get about a $4.30 stop on this one. And then if it goes, you should be able to get your stops up pretty quickly, I think. But not bad. Does look like a little bit of a longer term breakout. FSLR or solar. Interesting location. That's a little harame right at that 200. That's a good retest spot, strong support. Even for a day trade, I can see this one being decent. It's got some room on it. First spot though for me, probably would take us into 216.33. And then you probably got the opening price of Thursday's candle, so 220.21. If we can make it there, you still got $9 to the higher side from open. But great location. And then the stretch target for me would take me up to like 225 zone. So let's see if they have a good day. If we start breaking through that candle with that volume, you have your harame, that's your confirmation. Longer term, I think I like a good bounce here. So that's gonna be one to watch. That's gonna be one to watch. Looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the Baidu gap down, BIDU. You have a little bit of support from July 2024. You're also opening into the 50. You also have that 200 right below you too. So 200 is going to be $100 even. That being said, it is a bearish gap and go, so you're probably trapping maybe some bears. Probably, if I was in this one, it would be a short as soon as possible out of the gate. If you got maybe some pre-market breakdown. In fact, we'll get that one higher. But I don't know where my targets would be. The next, I guess that $100 mark is going to probably be a pretty good psychological number. If we can start getting through that, $99, I'm sure there's a lot of people looking for that gap fill, 94.27. But that is a pretty good gap and go to the bear side. I don't know if I would swing trade it because I don't know what China is going to do night to night. They're still kind of working on some policies and funding and all this stuff. So, uh, very, very volatile, and I prefer to be in bullish over bearish. That being said, for day trade to the short side, I kind of like it. Kind of like it. All right. Any other ones that I missed? Let's take a look at Mara. Since crypto's going a little crazy, Mara's got a nice little gap on it today too. That's the morning opening bell already. Mara actually has some room on it too. Otherwise, everybody on YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. You guys are awesome. Be safe out there today. Probably a little lower volatility, I would think, or volume in the markets. And then tomorrow, probably right back into normal. But otherwise, you guys are awesome, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow later.